I can give you mine. Okay. I don't know, maybe do you have any extra copies of the budget?
What, you want one here?
No, okay.
You need one?
I'll just take notes. I'll get it back. Thanks. Good.
I guess we can start, huh? Just planning for me that. All right. Welcome, everybody. Tonight's our public hearing on our, tonight's our public hearing on our budget. And at this point, I'd like to ask the town clerk to read the notice of public hearing.
Notice of public hearing, Town of Brunswick. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Town Law 108, the town board of the Town of Brunswick will meet at the Brunswick Town Office located at 336 Town Office Road, Town of Brunswick, State of New York, on the 7th day of November 2024 at 6:15 p.m. in the afternoon of that day for the purpose of holding a public hearing on the preliminary budget of said town for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2025. Any person wishing to comment on the 2025 preliminary budget or to speak in favor of or against the 2025 preliminary budget or any item therein contained will be heard at that place and time. A copy of the said 2025 preliminary budget is available at the office of the town clerk of the Town of Brunswick located at the town office, 336 Town Office Road, Town of Brunswick, weekdays between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., where it may be inspected by any interested persons. Said preliminary budget is also available for review on the town's website, www.townofbrunswick.org. The proposed salaries of the certain officers of the Town of Brunswick specified in Town Law Section 108 for the fiscal year commencing January 1, 2025 are as follows. Office of Town Supervisor, salary $41,865.88. 4 councilmen, $13,615.48 each. Town clerk, $51,000 annual salary. By order of the town board dated October 16, 2024.
Okay, thank you. Well, for the 25th time out of the last 31 years, there will be no tax increase.
One important part real quick. The public hearing notice was posted on the town bulletin board, the town website, and published in the Eastwood Press. My apologies.
Thank you. As I mentioned, for the 25th time in the last 31 years, there will be no tax increase this year. All employees will receive a raise. Minimum wage has increased past 7 years. The schedule will go up again in 2025. Minimum wage schedule will go up 3.4% on December 31st, which brings it to about $15.50 an hour. This puts a big strain on our summer program. This past summer, we employed approximately 140 camp counselors, beach workers, and lifeguards. This year, we have continued with a high deductible plan for our health insurance. The high deductible plan has helped keep our health insurance costs under control. The monthly rates increase again in 2025, but the town paid 90% of the deductibles. The town board continued with this budget is support of the library with an increase in funding. In 2024, the library received an 18% increase in the town. The town continued to pay off the bond for the town office, town hall. It is currently the only debt the town has. The principal balance is $430,000 and will decrease to $355,000 for the new year. Now, back in 2015, we refinanced and we got a lower interest rate. Because we did that, we saved $57,500 at this point. I think what I'd like to have at this point is have Pat and Becky both, or Becky or whoever. Teamwork. Come up and just give us a little presentation here. These are the people that work with numbers daily, so. That thing on?
I had it on. I had it on. There's a red button on. Yeah, it's on.
Sleep.
All right, one of the things that's been helping the town, this past year, it's gonna further us next year, is sales tax. With the sales tax, with the opening of the cannabis store down here in Walmart Plaza, in the first 6 months, we, received checks around $52,000 that wasn't anticipated. There's another cannabis, location that's opening sometime soon, I'm told, over on Oakwood Avenue in Merle's development over there. So next year, we should have 2 cannabis locations open and getting the sales taxes from that, sales tax and the tax they put on the product. Okay, so that helps out with income for next year. We're approximately under the salary cap. We're under the salary cap again this year.
Tax cap.
Yeah, 2% tax cap. $120,806. We didn't have to use the 2% that they put in the budget in order to pass it along. All right. In the assessor's office, we increased their contractual line. There's a few cases out there that we're going to have to go to court next year. So we're going to need to hire an attorney to represent us for tax cases. So we increased that line. We've also increased the town attorney's line. We took some out of the contractual because we may hire a second attorney because we're getting so much work around here. So we'll just move that around a little bit. The insurance, it going up this year a little. So we raised that we paid 107 last year. We budgeted this year 110 and we're going to 120 next year. One of the things that we did do, and it's coming up this year, and I don't believe we heard back from them yet, is the workers' comp. 2 years ago, we tied in the workers' comp for a 2-year rate. So last year and this year were flat. So we're waiting to hear from them. Next year, we'll put a little in for that also. Okay. So the unallocated insurance went up. The safety and inspection line went up. We're looking to hire another inspector. Okay. The budget for, like Phil said, for the beach is up a little. And it's like with the increase in sales tax, with the increase in minimum wage, you have to increase the entry level positions. But the way the increases have been happening, we got to funnel that down to the second and third year kids. Otherwise, they're behind the 8 ball on that. So it not only increases for the first year kids, but we also have to increase the salaries in order to keep up on an even plane. So that's what's the other side effect of this increase. Okay. The retirement, so we have to pay the retirement system is going up a little, but that's factored through the pay. And also with the new tiers, tier 6, normally we used to pay 3% the employees in. Now they have to pay a percentage of what they make depending on their salaries. And we get charged back some of that also. So that's one reason why it's going up. And there's more now tier 5 and 6 employees.
Tier 6 employees that are
So health insurance is going up. It's going up next year. So we increased that this year. Okay. The increase in property taxes, I go in to see Julie all the time to see how she's making out with the assessments and stuff. So with just the growth of assessment here in town, property tax increase is $7,000, which is a heck of a lot if you look at everything. We've increased the sales tax figure in that income level also. One of the things we were talking about is police fees here. Yeah, we used to collect close to $200,000 a year in police fees. And when they did their bail reform and all the different things with motor vehicle and stuff, they took the teeth out of people paying their bills. We used to be able to do away with their license, suspend their licenses. We can't do that anymore. That was a great tool to get them to come in and pay their bills. That's why Hal's here tonight. There's a little about $400,000 outstanding on unpaid traffic fines.
For how long a period would that be then?
Well, this goes back probably 5-6 years, you know. And it's up, it goes up and down. It went down when we were able to suspend licenses because Hal would do that on a regular basis. If they didn't come to court or they didn't pay their fine within a certain period of time, Hal would just get back in the system and suspend their license. We can no longer do that. So we have to send out letters and hopefully they'll, you know, pay. But again, there's no guarantee that they're gonna pay.
With 400,000 in arrears.
Yeah. People that,
They put a bench warrant out.
we can't do it
Do
anymore.
that anymore.
Right.
Amazing.
In the, like Phil says, the town hall, we're paying that off slowly but surely. We started off at 1.7 million with a bond back in 2005. We're down to 435,000, right about now, 430,000, we'll be 355 next year. We saved so far, since we refinanced, this will be the 10th year, about $53,000 so far on the refinancing. When we first did the bond, we were up over 4% interest. And if we kept it now, we'd be up over 5% on what we're paying. Now we're down below 4, around 3.5% for this coming year, what we're paying now. In the highway fund, we got the new union contract, and that's reflected in the payroll for the employees. We increased also the sales tax in the highway fund. In the highway fund, there's really not too much we can do on generating income. You know, we have fees and stuff in the general fund that we collect and stuff like that. And the two ways of funding, basically the highway fund is through taxes and through sales tax. We do get CHIPS money for paving. Last year went down slightly. We never know what we're gonna get for CHIPS money until April of next year when they pass the state budget. And then we get a letter saying, oh, this is what you guys are getting at this point. We decreased the, we increased interest income that we're making for this coming year to help out a little bit. And for paving, we also put an extra 200,000 out of what you call it, reserves into the paving budget for next year, trying to get caught up a little on the paving around here. We have money in it in the budget this year for a new truck that's been on order. It's 275,000 we have for that. We made a little bit of money this year when we sold some old equipment to help out that we can put back in. In the water fund, we are pretty steady on that with expenses and everything. And in the fire, that fluctuates a little bit here and there because of the service award program. We're never really sure how many people they're gonna have as members and how many are gonna make the point system and stuff. So we keep a spreadsheet every year on what a bank for each of the 3 firehouses that do it. So that'll fluctuate back and forth, okay? And you'll see that in employees in the service award program portion. Because like 1 year we spent 31,000 for sick away. The next year we budgeted 19 because we had a little bit of a surplus because they had fewer members that did it. But the past year, they had a lot of members that made the 50 points. We bumped it back up to 30,000 to keep that somewhat even. The same with Eagle Mill, Center Brunswick and Mountain View. That's a quick synopsis of what we got. Anybody got questions?
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah.
It goes up towards you. There you go. Oh, use the one next to you. I'm sorry.
There we go.
So there's no money going into the fund balance this
We're not that far.
We're not that far yet.
We probably, we'll have a small increase probably in fund balance, yes.
For this next year.
Correct.
But, okay. And then the other question I had was, the historic property line, I wasn't sure what that was.
That's, over at the Historical Society, the building.
Okay.
There's some major, work that we need to do. One, we need to paint the building.
Okay.
And there's windows that are rotting that need to be replaced.
So we're doubling the budget on that.
Right. Because we gotta do that. And also we gotta do parts of the roof.
There's one other one, but go ahead and move on to somebody else.
So we got quotes on that, but we gotta put out the bid to get
Okay,
that.
yeah, and I was just wondering what it was and blanked on it. If anybody else has questions, go ahead. I have one other question, but we can find it. Oh, snow removal, the reduction, 15,000?
So we are
95 to
currently,
70,000?
we are currently at full capacity with salt in the shed.
We have to buy X amount of tons every year.
Yeah.
Well, last year we didn't use as much as we wanted to use, or we had to use, let's put it that way. So I don't know if you've looked in there lately, but that's filled to the brim because under the old contract, we had to buy in order to meet our minimum. We should be, set with salt and sand mixture for about 3 storms.
So we reduced our tonnage that we were required to take. That's the electric.
Well, the state's full all year long.
So do I.
Don't we all?
Except for the highway guys, they like the open.
Yeah, right.
The only other one I had is the water department, there was a reduction in the taxes, it looked like. The money collected for taxes, I gotta find it.
Oh, money collected for,
Sales for
No.
property tax?
no, water?
Yeah.
The sale of water?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Bill gave us to,
So it's gonna be a lot less than last year.
yes.
That was all I had. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, since it's a public hearing, I'll open it up to the public. If anybody wants to get up and ask questions, make statements, comments, come on up.
Sorry. Really big crack when we do that. Hi, Mary O'Neill, JTP Gravity.
Tip that thing down to.
Good evening. Pat, I have a few questions for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, and you know, my school board background and what is the band, so my next term, this is what I'm just trying to clarify. Because I come and ask these guys some questions and I just want to make sure. So when I walked in, I didn't catch the very beginning, so if you said it, I'm sorry. Do you know what the total amount of budget expenses are? Like, I went through, I didn't have time to add up each section, but,
$10,738,485.
okay, and then I expect.
And the amount to be raised in taxes is $5,038,899.
The amount to be raised in taxes.
So what was it?
So the taxes are from the general fund, the highway fund, the water fund, and then we have special sewer 6, and then the fire companies. Now, some of the fire companies is a pass-through, meaning we don't get it. We're just a mechanism that's collecting it. So like Eagle Mills and Spiegeltown, we have no control over their budgets because they're private taxing districts, basically. So they give us their budget and we just pop the number in. So like Eagle Mills budget for next year is $514,743. And Spiegeltown, we split their budget that they want with Scotticoke because they serve both communities. And the way we figure out who owes what is based on tax assessments, whatever the assessed value is in Brunswick versus the assessed value with Scotticoke, that equals 100%, and then we take that percentage and put it towards their budget.
So the revenues that are projected on the budget, I assume are equal to what budget expenses are.
Yes. Except in the highway fund, we're taking $20,000 out of the highway fund to supplement the paving program for next year.
Okay, so, okay, that's fund balance question. So based on the budget, projected budget right now, did you guys talk about tax increase, decrease, or the same? It's the same.
The same.
It's the same, okay, so 0 increase, okay. So fund balance, there's appropriated fund balances and unappropriated fund balances, I assume, right? Like,
Right, but unlike school districts, we don't have to appropriate fund balance.
so then
It's all
it's an
unrestricted.
unappropriated. So what's the amount of Like,
Oh, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
can you give a range?
It's in the general fund, it's approximately 2.1 million. And that's because we still have the ARPA money that we've been setting aside to do the dam project. And that should be going out to bid this winter, right? And we're gonna start the dam project next year, so that fund balance will be going down dramatically.
For that, and then we're
Yeah.
taking out of fund balance the 200,000 towards.
Correct.
building it, so-
Correct. And Special Sewer 6, we're taking out on the fund balance also to buy a pickup truck.
That COVID money, a lot of towns took it and ran out and paid everything. They look like
Is
heroes.
that what ARPA is?
Yeah, that's the
COVID money.
COVID money. I'm sorry.
They look like heroes, but what we did,
Is it ARPA or DOS?
they're,
Okay.
they were paying pretty good interest rates, so we took that 1.3
Yeah.
million and invested it and got interest on it. But now we're coming at the end of this year, we gotta spend it, so.
I don't know if you've been over North Lake Avenue lately, but part of the dam project is we're aligning the water line. That's the main water line that feeds Brunswick's power in our pump house there. And the current 16-inch main actually comes up out of the ground across the bottom of the what's it called? Spillway there, and then back into the ground and goes up into the pump house. But we have to replace all that, the spillway and stuff, so we can't leave the water line there. So that's what this project is going on. It's like $420,000 that we're doing now to bring the water line up, zig across, go up, bring it back across and in, and it's gonna miss the spillway and everything. So when we do the dam project, this is like the first phase of doing the dam project.
No, that's good. I go North Lake Avenue to avoid Houston Street, so I've seen the work a lot. Okay, so after you take out that money, and I guess you could ask the question over here about, is there any money going into the fund balance?
Yes, but we're not quite sure yet,
So
because we
when-
still got November, October, or November,
So like
December.
at the end of the year?
We still got bills coming in, and we gotta pay everything. At the end of the year, we'll see what's left over.
Okay.
There should be money left over,
Hopefully, we're trying to keep.
hopefully.
Yeah, no, because I think it is like a standard of like 4% fund balance is what is expected to be the standard for how much you have. in
For
fund
school
balance.
districts.
So, no, actually,
There's
there's
no
no
law for like
law,
that for-
no, there's no law, but it's expected standard practice is 4%. If you
I
look that up.
Great.
They
But we've been
can't-
saving money, like I said, to put towards this dam project.
Right.
It's gonna be,
Well, no, that's what it's for,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it's for. No, I just think the problem gets to be if you're having an excess of a fund balance and the budget isn't right, but. I
and
don't
what
know.
started it all up with this dam project is that, remember, oh God, probably 10, 15 years ago, DEC had a dam up off of 149 there, going between Queensbury, where the, what you call it, malls are up there,
Mhm.
and going over into Vermont. They replaced the dam. After they replaced the dam, it fell through. You remember that? So after that, after their fiasco, they went around and looked at everybody else's dam. And what we have to do for the dam project, I think it's kind of silly, but this is what they want us to do.
There's people working.
Well, it does.
Right.
Our earthen wall is, say, like this now in the dam, okay? And the valve to, what you call it, drain it, they made us prove to them that we could drain the reservoir down within 10 days without flooding everybody downstream. And we proved to them, a couple of years ago that we were able to do that. One of the side benefits of doing that, though, kept the algae down. The next year, we saved money on treating the water. But, so, we got it now, they don't like it with the valve on the outside, they want the valve on the inside. Okay, so that's one of the reasons we gotta do this project. And they don't like the wall, say, at this angle, they want us to increase, decrease the slope, so it's more gentle going back in. That's the whole damn project. Yeah.
So do you anticipate or see any other unexpected things happening? I mean, well, we're entering a new political era. There's all these environmental restrictions that are happening. So based on this budget, do you like have a nagging feeling like, oh, there's something big that might show up or?
No, not really.
We haven't-
One of the things that we do have to do, we're working on, is in the water department, also like the city of Troy, They've been doing the lead pipes.
Yeah.
And we've been working on that also, trying to identify them and everything, because we have until the end of, next year to have all the people who are on city water or public water mapped out of where they are.
Do you get funding for that? Is there any funding at all?
City of Troy's getting funding, we're not,
All right.
you know?
So then where we stand.
Like I bet down by your house, there's a bunch of houses that have lead pipes. Have you checked?
You know, I have to say, I got the picture and the thing. I think I checked, but I'm a little nervous about scratching my pipe and seeing if it.
You want an easy way of doing it? Grab a magnet. Put a
No,
magnet.
that's almost too simple. That's what they should have just told everybody to do, is
Well-
go take a magnet and put it to your pipe.
Right, if it's a lead pipe, the magnet won't stick to it. If it's galvanized pipe or whatever, it's coming in copper or whatever, the magnet will stick to it.
I know, somebody came and looked.
Yeah, they want you to scrape it to see if it
Yes.
flakes and stuff. Put a magnet to it.
People are afraid I could put a hole in it. Somebody in my house, 100 years old. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are you Becky? Yes, thank you. I said it was something. Thank you.
All right, anybody else at this point? Come on up.
Mary Beth Brunel, 102 Lumex Run, Town of Brunswick. I'm really pleased to see that the town is in such fiscal health. I think that's wonderful once again. Thank you all. That would mean to me that the current tax base in the stores and commercializations that are currently in the town of Brunswick seem to be holding us in a good place. So let's keep that the way it is.
Can I say something too? Not to cut you off. Sales tax, that's
Slide
reporting.
slide that a little closer so we hear you. There you go. I don't want to miss a word.
Sales tax, okay? It's an archaic system here in Rensselaer County, all right? You have to, it's all based on assessments, and you gotta keep up with the assessments in town in order to keep what you get in sales tax. You know what I'm saying?
Meaning,
So
you
if
gotta
North
put-
Greenbush does more than we do, East Greenbush, does more growth than we do, they take some of our money and put it over towards them for the sales tax.
Are you suggesting that we're chasing
No,
more?
but I'm just saying how it works.
Right, no,
We got sued here, oh God, 10 years ago, and we lost it was almost 3-4% of our sales tax because everything came to a screeching halt. Yeah. But in new taxes, like I said, the general fund, it amounts to $7,000 increase, from last year when we raised the taxes to this year. And the highway fund, it's a little bit higher because the highway fund rate is higher than the general fund rate.
But overall, we're in a very healthy place.
Yes,
Which is great.
we've been saving money because we know we got some big expenses coming up. The dam, on the highway side, the cost of the trucks have skyrocketed these days. And you're over a year out usually on getting a truck in. But also, we're looking to, finally getting close to hopefully going out to bid next year maybe.
Yeah, possible. We'll see how the interest rates are.
Okay.
And I think you're derailing me.
Well, I'm just explaining, I'm sorry. What we was trying to say fun about. We gotta build a new highway garage at some point. Okay,
Good, no, it's good, it's good. It's
you can
okay.
cut me off from rambling.
Well, anyway, one of the line items actually, the front page at least of the public notice was on salaries, specifically to our town supervisor and the council. It appears that there's an increase in salary baked into that number as well. Wanted to ask about that, what the increase was from last year to this year. 4%.
4%, that's what our office staff, everybody's getting the same.
It was 4% across the board. And is the part-time people also getting the 4%?
Everybody was across the board.
And then does everybody get an evaluation?
Now the highway got a lot bigger increase in that, correct? This year. Go on, grab that.
So the highway with their contract, last year they got a flat $3 an hour increase. This year they got 3.5%. So based on the previous 2 years, 23, 24, or 24, 25, they actually got a bigger increase than everybody else did. Across the board, it's 4%.
I was specifically referring to the people who are elected
Yeah.
part-timers.
Yep, 4%.
Those positions, I'm just wondering, are those raises based on merit or evaluation? Or is that just automatically get the 3-4%?
they're elected officials. Everybody gets the 4%. I mean, if they're not any good, is that what you mean?
Well, I guess,
Are you talking to our staff or are you talking to political people
no, I'm talking about the people who are elected, yeah.
that are elected?
They're elected and they're part-time.
Yeah, we
That's
We-
what makes
we
me stand
get a-
out from the, the town workers that support me and all the services that I receive in town.
we take whatever our rest of the staff takes in terms of that. If we're not doing our job, we figure this election time, they change it. That's our,
True, that's very true.
that, they're big, our voters are the ones that decide whether to merit or not.
So I found it odd, maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but isn't it the town board who's voting on their own raise, including their boss's raise? Would that be true?
Yeah.
Yes. That seems rather strange
else
to me.
would?
A little bit of a conflict.
It's the same in every,
It's the same in every
Well, the
municipality.
taxpayers,
And you
Yes.
do every 4 years.
we're voting on the budget.
No, you're voting on those that are making that decision.
No, I'm talking specifically about the budget, because
Right,
as a
so we
taxpayer,
didn't
I
decide
vote
who,
for the budget.
who would decide if not us?
Well, I was going to explain. As a taxpayer, I pay taxes to the town, I pay taxes to a school. And when there's a budget for the school, I vote. But when there's a budget for the town, I'm not voting, the people who are getting the raise are voting for themselves. And then we are told about it tonight, which I appreciate the town hearing. I just wanted to make sure that I understood it correctly, because it doesn't personally make sense to me. I didn't know, taxpayers realize that you're voting for your own raise, because in my job, I don't vote for my own raise. I don't get a raise unless I have an evaluation. So it's a little differently done here. That's why I'm bringing it up.
It's done different here, it's done different at the county, at the state, at federal level as well. So
Well, I
we
wanted
don't
to-
vote on the budgets on anything except school districts. So, that's the difference between school districts and municipalities, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, well, thank you. I wanted to get a better understanding, make sure that I was clear on it.
What I find interesting too is with the school votes, as you said, taxpayers such as yourself get a chance to vote on school budgets. And every year, the school budgets go up.
Not every year.
And you must justify that. The voters justify it because every year they vote yes. So 2, 3, 4%. Here, 25 out of 30 years, we haven't raised our taxes. We haven't asked the public to vote on it, so I think we're kind of doing pretty well.
Right, no, Brunswick's held the line, and as a taxpayer, I'm grateful. School districts also, at least in Troy, because that's the, where I pay my taxes. I've also had years where they have not raised it, or the minimum, and I'm very familiar with their.
In Troy?
Troy. So, thank you.
I'm not saying that.
When I started doing the budget 31 years ago, the tax rate for the general fund was $2.89 a thousand. So 31 years later, it's $3.41. It went up like 50 cents in 30 years.
Anybody else at this point? Kim? No.
Kim Jensen, Roberts Drive. So you probably have a good guess about what I'm going to ask about. I wanted to find out if, with the planning for putting proposals forward to the organization that helps find the funding at the federal level to work on some of those traffic projects that were in the study, if there's any expectation that the town will need to do any sort of like cost sharing, where maybe we take on 5-10% of any of the projects that do get approved for funding in the event that they get approved. So I wanted to find out if that's something that was considered for the budget and whether or not that's something we know about.
We have a very healthy fund balance. If we
No, nothing's in the budget on expecting a grant or anything like that. Is that what you're asking?
A little bit, yeah, where we were talking at the last town council meeting about that proposals will be opening up to request money from the state and federal government towards some of those traffic items that came from the study. And so I just wasn't sure whether or not there would be any expectation that we would have to like cost share that, and whether or not that had been taken into consideration in the event that any of those proposals do get moved forward.
At this point, no.
No.
Okay, yeah. Awesome, thank you so much.
All right, anybody else from the public at this time? I do want to say Becky is an outstanding, I'm going to use the word controller, I'm sorry. Bookkeepers are title. She does an outstanding job. She's very, very talented. On top of that, we got Mr. Polito with 31 years of working with a town budget. We've been together. When we came in here, the budget didn't look like this. Correct that. So we're blessed as a board. People are blessed as residents here to have these two people. That's one thing that we do well, I believe. We watch our finances and we try to pay attention. And I think one thing that was just pointed out here, I mean, people in general are concerned about their budgets and their money and what they spend. So I want to thank these two very, very much. Okay, anybody else at this point? No? I entertain a motion to adjourn now.
Close.
Oh,
I'll
motion.
move to close public hearing.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
I'll second it. All in favor? Thank you.
Now that that's over, I can do my 2 cents.
We had the official part.